Welcome to Captive Conversations. I'm your host, Adam from Captive Wi-Fi. Join us as we dive into behind-the-scenes stories of hospitality leaders exploring tech, operations, and marketing through the eyes of the experts. Let's get the inside scoop together. Hello, everyone. We are on episode 15. Can't believe it. Episode 15, and we have Luci from Airship. So wave to everyone who can see you to wave, and then a virtual wave for everyone else. Thank you so much for coming. And a little bit high if we can on the mic, yes, because so people can hear. Let me turn my volume down a bit. Thank you for coming. Thank you for finding us. And we generally start with a little bop along. A bit of dad dancing. So I'm going to do a little bit of the intro music. So
do I need to dance?
You have to dance. You can sway. You can stick your hands up. You can do a bit of a rave. You can do a bit of this. Not that anyone can see that. But we're going to start with. I quite like it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. That's what you get. I love that. It's just a nice. It's a lightener. It lightens the mood.
Me of, like the news or something like
the news.
The news beats.
Oh yeah, the beats. Online. Okay, you can say beats. Just don't say the news. We're not the news. We're better than the news. Thank you so much for coming. I've worked with Luci for ages, to be fair. We work with Airship as well, and we're going to learn more about you and everything, and Airship and everything else. And so we're going to just go dive deep in, to be honest with you. So the last guest we had was Mark McCulloch, and it was, oh, God, man, his freaking story is just like...
He's such an interesting man.
He is, and I think he's a year older than me, and we were just talking about stuff, and lastminute.com. Lastminute.com, it was just like...
Mental. It's mental.
Yeah.
He's also really interesting to listen to. Am I too far away?
I think it just needs to be a bit higher, I don't know. Try that. Yeah, in the mouth.
He's just really interesting to listen to as well. He's really full of... He's actually going to be leading the Social Media for Profit event next month. Oh, this month. Oh my God, we're in July.
Yeah, we are in July.
And I'm looking forward to that because last year he had a lot of great golden nuggets.
He just, on stage, comes alive, right? Well, to be fair, generally comes alive, but he's got some awesome nuggets of genius. So, but yeah. So his questions, first question was, what hospitality leader do you admire the most and why?
Oh, Mark. Do you know what? I had to think about this one because he obviously gave it to me yesterday. And I can't see past Anne Elliot. She's just a legend. She's like the perfect balance between, especially being a female, like poise and elegant. Everything she wears always looks amazing. But then at the same time, she's like demands a room and is super confident and just like an absolute diamond.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, because hopefully we have some people in the US listening as well, let everyone know who Anne Elliot is.
Anne Elliot, so she's a real leader in hospitality in the UK.
Yes.
She's got a huge portfolio of leading companies in hospitality, but at the moment working as a NED and an advisor for lots of different businesses. To be fair, do you know what? Off the top of my head, I can't even think of one. But she runs the Female Leaders Conference for Propel, which was last month, which was amazing. Shireen Ritchie, shout out to you. And yeah, she's just a really great leader to watch as a female kind of coming up in my career. She just does everything right in my eyes. And
she's a force.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely an aspiration to be like her.
Amazing. And then on to the next question is... What do you think is the secret to a happy and motivated team, and what examples can you share to achieve it? Sorry, I said activate, but to achieve.
To activate.
Yeah. Well, it's marketing, right? It's all about activation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My mind's only thinking marketing. Do you know what? I think from a personal perspective, where I've worked in lots of different teams, accountability and responsibility. And the reason I say that is because if you've got a team of people or anyone individual in your team that, if they weren't there, it wouldn't actually impact the company, then that's a problem and they probably shouldn't be there. And so if you put the onus on the person and say, if this is your responsibility, you're accountable to achieve X, then it gives them that sense of confidence that they're really making an impact. So we do a few different things. Well, to be fair, alongside that as well, because it's easy to say, but you want to have the support around you. I definitely like to think that there's no stupid question. unless you ask the question like 3 times, and then I might have a problem with it.
Yeah, I'm a bit same as you, big believer. Always ask questions.
Always ask questions.
Everything, all the time.
Otherwise, you're going to go away. You're going to try and maybe figure it out yourself, which you absolutely should anyway. But you know, why not share knowledge? Why not share what we know? Because everyone comes from a different perspective. You know, diversity, all that kind of thing. So I think open forum, open conversation to ask as many stupid questions as you want, so we can continue to learn as a team. But alongside that, accountability that you're going to get the job done. So ask the questions you want and get the job done. Something that we do at Airship, which probably introduced like 3 or 4 months ago now, is at the last Thursday morning of every month, we do a feature quiz.
Oh.
I'm the sort of person that
You love
learns,
quizzes.
I mean, I do love a quiz. Not that I ever know any answers, to be fair. But I enjoy the fun of it. So what I find is, personally, I learn by doing, and I discovered
You're
my
a
team.
kinesthetic learner.
I am a
Me
kinesthetic
too.
learner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Give me a paper to read, I'm just going to see lots of words and just like run away immediately. But my team are very similar. So we do a quiz at the end of the month, and we have a rota, so everyone runs it each month.
That's so cool.
They can choose the questions. It's their job to put it together, you know, using Slido or something similar. What the questions are, but also in between each question, we talk about what that was about and what we learned, and whether someone's learned something new, and then we move on to the next. So it's like a really
That's
fun
really
way
nice.
of ending the month as well, especially in a sales team where you're very much like month-on-month targets.
Yeah. There's no figures in that.
No, it's literally just like, what's Airship?
Yeah.
Hopefully they know the answer
What are
to
your
that.
thoughts of Airship? I think that's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
And brings everyone to, because not everyone's in the same office, right? So you've got people
we're
all
remote.
over. So is everyone remote? Or?
In the commercial team, yeah, everywhere from all the way up to Newcastle, and then
Amazing.
I'm the most south in South London.
Yeah. South
But
London.
we've got South London. My Essex twang might come through
a
on
little
this.
bit, a little bit. That's really nice. I like that. I think it's important in companies to do it, and I'm glad that you've run it in. I think, I don't know, for me, from what we see from Airship, it's a very much fun environment. You know, great responsiveness, good team. I think from what we've felt and what we've seen, you know, all our clients are just happy to have you guys. Do you know what I mean?
that's
So
awesome.
it's nice to see. There are other platforms out there where we don't have that, but I give you guys props for that too. Okay, so we're going to go into the 2 basic questions, which was best hospitality experience.
So this one was not hard to think of because it absolutely tops every experience I've ever had. Do you know Dinner by Heston Blumenthal?
Yes,
Bloody amazing. Am I allowed to swear on
you can
this?
swear as much. I got Joe from Cam coming in, I think, next month. So that's going to be even more interesting.
Oh God, yeah.
So yeah,
Lots
you can.
of Fs.
Yeah.
Yeah, really bloody good. So, I mean, my first experience, I've been there twice, lucky enough to go there twice.
Wow.
I know. Both for special occasions, to be fair. And for anyone listening, on a weekday, they do a lunchtime special, which back when I went was like £45 for
Wow.
a set menu,
Okay.
which is incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is now. That's going back a few years now. But I went there for dinner as well. And the service is just like next to none. Like it's incredible. They know everything. I swear to God, they like read your mind. We went for my partner's sister's birthday, and I think someone dropped something on the floor, like a fork. And it was like a swarm of people that came, but not in an uncomfortable way,
Yeah.
like in a really like just amazing service way. And another time when it was just me and my partner, I asked where the toilet was. They showed me to the toilet, literally walked me to the toilet door. It's a little bit further. And the other guy stood there and chatted to my partner for the entire time. And I was just like, but effortlessly. It wasn't really like in your face kind of stuff.
It wasn't forced.
And obviously the food's amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's more the experience.
Yeah. It's your senses, right?
Yeah.
I think if you can top that with the service, you're winning.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're winning. And what was that? Was that a weekend?
That was a weekend
Yeah.
thing, yeah. That was like a Saturday night thing. It was for my partner's sister's 30th.
Oh wow.
So yeah, special occasion.
Yeah.
Definitely a special occasion kind of
Yeah.
place. I'm not, absolutely rolling in it or
Yeah.
anything.
Chotomate next. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. I know that's awesome. I've not been, but always heard awesome things about it. So I think if you can link that special piece that Mark earlier said he did some work for a hotel group. I don't remember the brand, but he did a test at one of the hotels, and the cab drove past. As he about to open the door, they came out, opened the door, and said, "Hello, Mr. McCulloch, how are you?" And he's like,
Just amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, that sort of level of service,
Yeah.
which I think nowadays, I mean, we'll kind of probably come on to this because it's experience,
Yeah.
hospitality and everything, but nowadays consumers just expect so much more, like we do as
Yeah.
humans, because we don't want to spend as much. So when we do, we want to make sure that we're getting as much value as possible. So that kind of level of expertise when it comes to service is what's going to like put you apart from everything else. And I remember that experience.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
and you'll always
memorable.
remember it, and you'll
Yeah.
tell other people about it as well, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's a really nice piece, especially in hospitality. Anything, if something really hits you, you don't stop harping on about it.
No,
because
I know.
it's an yeah. Okay, amazing. Next question is best hospitality tech. No
I can't
self
say
noms.
myself.
Sorry.
No, it's fair. Do you know what? I haven't actually used this yet, but just from knowing the guy, the founder, and seeing it being spoken about and understanding the concept of it. Amble
Yes.
by Aaron.
Yeah.
I actually went to school with Aaron.
Did you?
Another shout out
Oh.
to Aaron too.
I love Aaron. We've his platform's amazing, and now it's plugged into several rooms. The immediate booking, the whole thing's changed.
Yeah.
It's a game-changing platform, and I think what he's doing for the industry is really helpful. And I was at an event the other day talking to him, and I was like, "Oh my god, we could do this. I could do that with you." And he's like, "Adam, stop. I don't know anything you're saying. It's all like blah 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 blah
too
blah blah blah."
techie.
He goes, "I'm not techie. That's the other guy. But he's he's doing really well. I think it's very needed hospitality.
Absolutely, yeah. I think what's different about it is that it's really putting the consumer at the heart of like why it's
Yeah.
solving an issue, which I mean, quite often, naturally, you'd put the operator at the heart of it, but he's actually really solving a problem, especially being a Londoner myself.
Yeah.
The amount of times I'm like, oh, I wonder where I can go. I can't think
But,
of anywhere.
but now you can do. Now he's got the plugin. You can do it in advance. So like when he started, because I was on the panel with him, he was like, "Look, I left my job. I set this up." And in the beginning, it would go whoop 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 whoop, whoop, and it would find you the restaurants. But now he's directly plugged in. You can just book in advance anyway, which is really nice because OpenTable have the app, Dish Cult have their app, right? Designer Night have their app, their website, but Seven Rooms doesn't have a. It's all independent. So he's actually fixing an issue, solving a problem.
Yeah.
There are all these really nice high-end restaurants that are all independent are now on there. Now, obviously, he'll expand it out. So, good one. Hi, Aaron. Check out Amber. I'll put it in the show notes as well. It's a great app, and we were talking in the panel about the no-shows thing. He's actually putting systems in place to stop that from happening with their platform, which I think is really important.
It is so important. I mean, there's been so much research and insights from CAM
Yes.
and also from Zonal and like lots of others about the importance of not having no-shows or reducing it. So yeah, shout out to them.
Absolutely. Great. You need to use it now. You haven't used it yet. You need to use
I know,
it now.
that's why I felt bad. I was like, it's a great
Afterwards,
idea.
she's going to download the app and I'll get it on video.
I think I might even have the app.
You probably do. Okay, awesome. So we're going to go back in time before Toggle and Airship and everything and from the beginning. So, I mean, my question here was quite funny for me, to be fair. I was like, I've put here from yoga to hospitality tech. Tell us about the journey and your amazing excel in the role at Airship. Because you have really sort of gone like that. It's been pretty awesome. But yeah, what were you doing before? How did you find it? What was it like getting into the behemoth that is Airship? Because it is a bit of a behemoth.
And here I am sat in a little
Yeah, just like you're just all
well.
relaxed and yeah, this is fine.
Well, if we really rewind,
Yeah.
I've actually always worked in hospitality, but from a very, very young age. So my first ever job, I'm a Southend girl from Essex.
Yep.
Seaside, born and bred. And my first ever job was working in a fish and chip shop, obviously, because they're
Yep.
on every street corner. When I was 13, which is actually definitely illegal.
Yeah.
But never mind. Cash in hand, I was trying to remember, I think I got £3.45 an hour. And then it went up to like £3.55 when I turned 14. But yeah, I've always worked in hospitality. I went from there. I worked in the catering section of a yacht club.
Yeah.
I went to the golf club to do silver service.
You did silver service?
Yeah, I worked silver service.
You
when I
and
was
Scott
15.
Turner can have good old conversations. He did silver service
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely, another one of those, learn on the job.
Yeah.
Absolutely had no idea what I was doing. I did private events for like weddings and stuff. I worked in like bars as soon as I turned 18. So I've literally always worked in hospitality. But also I was thinking about it. I've also, until now, always had more than one job. And I don't know whether or not that's like a good thing or a bad thing. But I'm very like driven to be successful, I think. So
It's a good ethic.
yeah, like whatever I do, it comes back to that accountability thing I was saying. I don't think I could ever like morally do something half-hearted. Like I just put everything into everything I do. So I think where I've maybe had several jobs on the go, like at uni, I worked for Apple for a period of time. So that's my technical days.
Yeah.
I have a funny story about my interview for Apple
I
actually.
definitely want to hear that.
So I like signed up, I think it was like Indeed or something, one of the recruitment agencies. When I was at university, already was working for Paddy Power, how random.
Yeah.
And in a pub in the nighttime. But I wanted to get like a
You kept yourself busy.
Oh, honestly, I don't
Yeah.
know where I found the time. And I signed up to this recruitment thing and they said, oh, I actually think you'd be really suited to this job we've just got in. But the thing is, it's an interview process that's all day tomorrow. And I was like, shit, okay, where do I need to go? And it was like near Heathrow. I was like, okay, fine, let's just do it. Throw
Yeah.
yourself in. So I went there, 9 a.m. and I'd had to prepare a 15-minute presentation.
What?
I know. And the instructions was something you're passionate about. I was like, God, 15 minutes, that's quite a long time. Bearing in mind I'm like 18, 19.
That's a long time.
Yeah. But I thought, because I'd already thrown myself in and gone, fuck it, I might as well just do it.
Yeah. You committed.
I committed.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do this. So turn up and there's a group interview stage first, which is like the first couple of hours. You do like an activity or anything. And then the group halved.
Yeah.
And then you went on to a one-on-one interview. And then you had lunch and then the group halved again. And then it was just the people at the end who were invited to do the 15-minute presentation.
Oh, okay. God.
So it's like a full stage
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, Apple, obviously, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what their roles were, but they were like very senior in Apple. And I got them doing a yoga pose as part of my presentation.
What?
I know, I properly went in for it. I was like, I'm just going to go for it. So something I'm passionate about is yoga.
Yeah.
So I did a 15-minute presentation on why I'm passionate about it and why I think it's great. And at the end, I was like, and I'd like to invite you to join me and I'll show you a pose.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. They both fell flat on their face. And I got the job. So
What was the role?
I was managing a concession in John Lewis in Oxford Street, so the flagship store. If you go to the top of Oxford Street,
Yeah.
pretty sure it's still there.
Yeah. I think it is.
It's like a whole floor. So I
Yeah.
managed that
At
concession.
18.
I was probably
how old were you?
19, at this point.
At 19.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Yeah.
good experience and it opened my eyes up to technology because I'd never worked in it before. And opened my eyes up to running a business
Yeah.
as well. Small scale, but you know, you get an idea
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then I went off travelling. So came back, lived abroad for like 3 years.
You lived abroad for 3 years?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where did you travel?
Didn't plan to. But I
No,
just
yeah,
didn't
but
wanna
you
come
got the
home.
bug, right? You got the bug. That's what
Exactly.
happened.
I travelled like loads of Asia for about 6 months. So quite a typical route that a lot of people take. But absolutely loved it. Went to New Zealand, was there for a year, worked there for a bit, also in hospitality.
Yeah.
If anyone's been to New Zealand, Queenstown, which is a very popular place to go, there's a famous burger joint there called Ferg Burger.
Okay.
And I worked there as, and this could be taken really badly, but the title was a fluffer.
A fluffer.
For anyone who knows
Love
what
that.
that means in other terms.
Yes.
That was not what I was doing,
No.
obviously. But no, that was the name of the role. And basically you had to entertain the queue because the queue would be hours sometimes.
Oh, they must have loved your accent.
Yeah. A lot of them were like,
Where
not
are you
actually
from?
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Then I went to Australia for a year, worked there. Had a stint of being a roofer, which is probably the most rogue job I've ever had.
Roofer.
Yeah, so if you ever need a roof being put on,
Yeah.
I can do that.
I'll let you know.
And then I came back to the UK. I worked for a travel company for nearly 3 years, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Sam.
Oh.
So that's where it all started.
How did you meet Sam?
So Amy Harris,
Yes.
giving her a shout out from
Hello.
Megan's. Hi, Amy. It was during that summer in 2020 where you were allowed to go out, you weren't allowed to stand, and then you were allowed to stand, and then you weren't really sure
That
what you were
mixed
meant to
messaging
do.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was during that time, and we went out for a friend's birthday because I know Amy otherwise, and I let her know that I was looking for a job. She went, I think I know this guy in this WhatsApp group, which happened to be the team marketing.
Oh, is it team
WhatsApp
marketing?
group.
How
Yeah.
funny.
So actually, I have Vic Sell to thank for this as well.
Thanks, Vic.
And she introduced me. I think this was like a Friday. Had the interview like on the Monday, and I started on the Tuesday.
And
So
was it just on that? Was it there? Or was it over the
video
phone?
call.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually played a little trick on me, Sam. We were in an interview,
Yeah.
and Andrew, who's our head of product for Airship and Toggle, he was also on there, and Sam pretended his doorbell went so that like he could see whether or not I could hold a conversation with Andrew, which is actually a really good interview tactic.
Very good interview technique.
Obviously, I did.
Yeah.
I started the next day,
that was
literally
it?
immediately. I was made redundant from my old job, so I was
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably one of the best.
And what was the first role
decisions.
when you started?
Started as a BDM, so
Yeah.
business development manager, and that was for about maybe the first year, and then went to national sales manager. When we grew the team, we got an extra person in the company, and I managed them.
Mm-hmm.
And then
How old were you?
I started in the company when I was 25.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Did I? 26. I'm forgetting how old I am.
Yeah. When you get past 25, it's blurred.
Yeah, it doesn't
it's
matter
fine.
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm 30 now. So I've been there for 4 years next month.
Wow.
So I was 26. And managed Ed back then.
Yeah.
Then went to head of sales, grew the team, had like 4 people in the team who are still there today, which is nice. And then now head of commercial.
Yeah.
So I kind of worked my way up.
Yeah. All the way up. That's fantastic.
Quick favour here. I'm just taking a quick break on the podcast just to say I would really appreciate if you can click the like or subscribe button. That helps us grow. We're very new and I would really appreciate it. And on with the show.
So what's it like being head of commercial? Lots more. Is it lots more responsibility?
It is, yeah, because we're quite a slim team considering all the activity that we do.
Yeah.
So
5 billion emails a month or something stupid. Like,
So the majority of our business is in the development department.
Yeah.
So about I should probably have checked the numbers, but I reckon about 20 in the development and like product team.
Wow.
And then we've got about 15 in the customer success, like the support team.
Yeah.
We've got like the marketing team. We've got finance, which is one person. And then
Well, because yours is it's pretty slick and automated, right? You, that's what you want. Sign in, set up, off you go.
exactly.
Right?
And
Unless it's like enterprise, it's a bit different. But yeah, scale.
requires more hand holding when it comes
Yeah.
to enterprise, which is what we're learning, absolutely. But ultimately, the platform runs itself. You shouldn't need to have someone at the end of the phone.
So I had a conversation with someone this week who was like, I forget their name. It will come to me. But they used to work at Airship, but when Airship was doing the full version of everything.
James Mobbs.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Hi, James. Sorry.
Hi, James.
I literally have been speaking to him on LinkedIn and WhatsApp like 2 hours ago. I should have remembered his name, but he was like, yeah, he worked, because I was like, oh yeah, they did. They did do that back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so Airship's been around for like 22 years. Back then it was Powertex.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, the business needed to completely pivot and change because we lost some really big clients as an agency. So that's when Dan took over properly as CEO, and we transitioned to be a SaaS platform and a SaaS business as a model.
Yeah, early times as well.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely. Like, it just suits what it is so much better. Although saying that, more recently we have started to go down that route of agency a little bit more, where we are trying to be not just an account manager, but really showcasing like how to get the best from the platform and going that extra mile with it.
Because you've got the booster, right? Not that anyone knows what the booster is, but I recommend people to take that because you get the full overview of everything. If you're a bit tech, for me, I think any of the people I work with who you use the platform, they leave and go to another company. They're like, well, just blah, 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 and they're done. New people, every platform out there's beefy, but Airship's beefy.
It's got so much beef.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. So I think we tell people to take that route, and that's really helpful for what we've seen. Because you handhold them across, don't you? Like you go through it, set it up with them, and
exactly. So it's really good for those because typically marketing teams are very slim in hospitality. You might have one person doing it who's probably also doing the social media, the menus, deciding everything when it comes to an opening, everything. So if we can in some way reduce the resource in terms of like the time spent building emails, helping with the strategy, all of that, then why wouldn't you? It's far less than the cost of a human being in a salary. And it gives you all the success, and also we can help you analyze the data to find out whether or not it's working. So yeah, it's my favorite add-on. Yeah.
So are you gonna reintroduce a bit more of the handholdy bits, like have an additional product to be like, right, we understand that you haven't got time to do let's either set it up or let's do more for you. Is that something coming?
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
It's something we've always done, but we're putting a little bit more, and part of something that I'm working on is putting more focus on it. We're not the experts when it comes to that. We can't build a website. We can't.
Why not?
I don't even know where to start. I am the least techie person in the entire world, which is maybe where
you work for Apple. You should know everything. Yeah.
All I had to do is sell the story.
Yeah.
That's all I had to do.
You're right. Yeah.
So we are leaning on our network.
Nice.
Getting those agencies that we know, the freelancers who are incredible at what they do.
Yeah.
People like Jack Edge who are brilliant.
Yeah. So is the plan to set up a little marketplace thing? So a bit like what Chris has done. So you've got like a whole, Airship experts where you can just, like, it's a bit like Upwork. If you wanted to be a developer, you want to build something, Upwork's like 1 billion developers out in the world. You type in what you want, you can find someone that can build it. But like Fiverr as such, but for Airship. So you can go in and go, okay, so I need that expertise, boom, and then what it introduces them, I guess. And
yeah, so during the beginning of the pandemic, which was just before I actually joined, Dan brought out our professional hub, which you were on as Support Wizard.
Thank you.
And we still have it on the website. It's a page for all of our professionals, and there wasn't really any structure to it. Anyone in the sector who had something to give as an expertise.
Just linking backs and forwards about the benefits.
Exactly. You could link out to their website, all that jazz. So same sort of structure we've always had with that, because it was really successful. We put a grant towards it as well at the beginning of the pandemic. So people who had made a lot of people redundant but still need the support could come to you or come to anyone, and we would pay the bill.
Nice. Yeah.
For a period of time.
Of
and
course.
then, we had to make some money ourselves. So we're doing a similar kind of thing with a sort of select amount of businesses that actually work with our customers. So for example, Jack Edge is a really great example because he is someone that actively
flying the flag
uses,
of Airship.
actively uses the platform as well, as opposed to someone who, advises that we're great. But doesn't use the platform. So that's what we're trying to work towards.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's nice. And especially if they're consultants and if they've got time to help, then you end up keeping the customer ends up being happier.
More sticky.
But absolutely. Yeah. And so I was speaking to Vic the other day, Vic from Data Hawks, about, because she's worked with some of our clients who has Airship as well. And we were talking about building something to like similar to what you're saying, like at the overview, like the audit. Go in, get it working, get it better, get it set up, off you go. Is it showing value? Great, use you again. Same thing with Jack, I guess, right? Get him in. It's not just doing the little help thing, it's the ongoing. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's the great thing about hospitality, that not everyone, but a lot of people in the sector want to play that game. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they want to pick you up, even your peers, your competitors, everyone.
I love it. And the group, the WhatsApp, to be fair,
That WhatsApp group is fantastic.
people ask questions the whole time. Someone's not sure about something. There's free advice. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, no one's
Community's
trying
good.
to sell anything.
No.
It's just genuine.
Yeah.
And that's what's really lovely about the sector, I think, because everyone's striving for hospitality to be a success, whether you are, you know, Honest Burger and Byron, I'm trying to think of a competitor of each other, but they'd still help each other out.
Yeah.
They'd still advise and share ideas, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, I think someone said, like, Father's Day stuff and Mother's Day, they're asking, are your sales slumped? I'm like, 5 years ago, you'd never see that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's cards to my chest, I can't tell you
Absolutely,
anything.
yeah.
So
And I love
I
that.
think things have changed and making it a bit more open. I think that, you're right. I think the community piece of that group on its own, and other events like, you know, the Titans and Tech on Toast events, bringing people together, because there was never really events, was there,
Yeah,
before?
Exactly. And going back to like the professional thing and your network and getting our customers to work with the experts that we recommend, you know, we should all be striving to that, because it's helping each other out. You know,
Yeah, it's
your
the partner
success
network.
is great to see.
I will say that we've got some other tech partners who work with them, POS partners, and they've all got their little Slack channels. So it's really nice. People just popping into each channel and asking questions. Oh, by the way, I've got someone who wants to do this, or we've got a client that's unhappy with something, for example. We would message in, or I mean, we WhatsApp, to be fair, so it's fine.
Or voice note every now and then.
Yeah. So I think that's really important. For us, there's a really big place or piece on if something isn't working, to fix it
Yeah.
and make everyone happy.
And have the responsibility to do that as well.
Yeah.
You know, you're giving a service of some sort, you know.
Yeah, I
fix
agree.
it.
Okay, so we're gonna. So one of my questions here was hilarious. How does the team at Airship manage the amazing brain that Dan has? Because he must have lots of other ideas, right? He's like, I mean, my brain fires, but his brain is like freaking
Yeah.
machine gun. I want to do. Brrr.
Yeah, and then also, I actually asked him the other day, I was like, how do you decide when something's a good idea?
Yeah.
Because you must just have so many ideas that, like, what tells you when to go in what direction?
Yeah,
Like, God. Yeah.
His shaman tells
Yeah,
him.
closes his eyes and just walks somewhere. He's absolutely a marketing genius. Like, he's an entrepreneur at heart. He comes up with so many great ideas, and I think the great thing about working with Dan is working at Airship is the first time I've ever worked in a startup. So I've learned so much.
I have to say one thing. It's been going for a while, Airship. You say startup, it still feels like a startup, but it
It's
isn't.
got that mentality about
Yes.
it. Yeah.
It's not I mean, looking at it as a company, definitely not on the outside. If I didn't know anyone, it's there and polished. But you're right. It has that feeling of, oh, we're excited about this, or this is happening, you know, and the stuff that you do. So
Yeah. I think it comes from Dan. It really does. You know, he's like the pumping heart in the middle. And if he's not passionate about something, the company isn't. And vice versa. If he's really passionate about it, he's great at getting everyone on board with him.
Yeah.
And I think his values as a person, as a CEO, as a founder, is that he just bloody loves hospitality.
Yeah.
Like, he really does. And
well, he's been in it for longer than I have. So
yeah, I mean, he's been in it for longer than I've been on this planet, I think. But yeah, he's the first to admit if something's not gone to plan. He's very open and honest with the team, and his values are just, let's give the hospitality sector everything they need to be successful. And that kind of almost, I think, drives the innovation. Because we always try and put the customer at the centre.
I guess the other thing as well is that you get to see what people want, and you stay in touch with your customers rather than like a MailChimp thing where no one really talks to anyone, or you're just faceless.
Yeah.
You're in touch. You still have those requests come in, and I think that also helps with, oh, we're building this, what do you think? Oh, this is amazing. So I think that's a nice
feedback.
Yeah, I don't think enough providers out there do it. I think that's a big. And the accountability thing you're talking about as well. If your customer knows you and knows that if they ask you a question and you say, oh, well, that's going to be in something we're building, they know that it's going to be in something you're building.
Absolutely. And we run, we actually are going to be doing one quite soon, but we run product days where we invite like key users on the platform. So like the marketing director or anyone in that area of our existing customers to come in for the day. We give you loads of tea, coffee, cookies, all that jazz. And
load them with sugar and then get all the information out.
and then squeeze the good stuff.
Yeah.
And we showcase what our roadmap is, what we've got planned, but also open the forum up for like feature requests, what they'd like to see now in the near future, but also like what does the like serious future look like? And I think it's such a good way of learning from the customer, because ultimately we might think something's a great idea, but if it's not in practice, we're not the ones using it.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think that's really important. There's another part of that, as I mentioned, the communication piece. And your team is often doing videos with other partners, often being present. And it's nice to see. I think that's another benefit of the company. You're very present. You're not. It's not. I mean, I know Sam is a store kit now, yay, which is good, and we work with them too. But he was very present. But you guys generally are, as a company, very present, which is nice to see. So it's not, we are this company, and you're just like online.
Yeah.
It's nice, and the partners and so on. So. Let's go on to some people who wouldn't know what Airship is. So we'll just do a quick little briefo on the product. I want to talk about Toggle as well, because that's an interesting story of how it started. But yeah, Airship. I mean, I tell people it's basically a CRM on speed. But I mean, give me the highlights.
Actually, Dan says it's like MailChimp, but on steroids.
Yeah,
so you're on the right track.
Yeah.
So yeah, Airship.
I didn't want to mention MailChimp again.
How many plugs can we have of it?
Their links aren't going into the show notes. I'm sorry.
No hashtags.
Yeah, no
hashtags.
I'll tag them into the post so they can see it. What to aspire to. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
So yeah, Airship. So it's a hospitality marketing CRM. I don't know why I said marketing so strange then. Which just essentially means that what we do is we work with great people like Captive Wi-Fi, booking platforms, EPOS platforms, loyalty platforms, feedback, order and pay, even photo booths and room bookings, literally about 15 or 16 different sources of data, which means that we capture a lot of customer data for a business, so an operator. And we pull that into one place so that you can easily understand who your customer is, what's their behaviour when it comes to visiting, how much are they spending with you, how loyal are they.
Because you've got the visits, right? Everything.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a metric called POP, which is proof of presence. And that's kind of like our loyalty metric, It tells you how frequently someone is visiting and puts them into a segment that suits their personality type and their interests and their frequency of visit. And then with that information, you set up really smart automated marketing to those customers. So me, I'm 30, I live in London, I love a wine, get me out in a beer garden any day and I'm having a great time. You collect that information about me based on my behaviour and you market the right stuff.
Yeah, I'll let you know when the garden party's on and you're there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bit of a DJ in the garden, loving life. So that's the point.
I think it's really important that we speak to loads of people, we speak to marketers, I speak to loads. And one really important piece where I'm finding more and more now is those automations that aren't in place.
Much.
It's just a database. And I think Vic Casal said it ages ago, like marketers are very busy just putting the out of order sign on the toilets, let alone to do everything else. So we speak to more and more and they go, oh, can we just plug it into MailChimp? Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing with it? When I get time, I'll send a message. Yeah. So the automations thing is like, the first thing we say is, what are you doing with this automations? And
that's why we brought it out, actually, because we found that, and again, going back to like listening to the customer, what do you actually need? We found that so many people, I think it was something crazy, like 50% of the people on Airship weren't using the automation feature.
Wow.
Like they didn't have a birthday set up
or
anything like that. So we brought out the automation booster where we do it for them to encourage them to do it.
Yeah.
And off the back of that, we've showcased that on average, a birthday journey generates about £13,000 of extra revenue.
£13,000 of extra revenue. Sorry, I have to say,
year per venue.
Per year per venue. I have to say it again, just because I tell people to turn on the birthday message. and they're like, oh, just it doesn't do anything. It does.
It really does.
Yeah. Okay. I might get a little slide in from Metsum for you during when I do the video, so it will just slide in underneath us with the metrics.
Like
but
some captions.
yeah, 100%.
Nice.
I think that's important. And that's just birthday. You've got
That's just
loads of other
birthday.
things.
Yeah, I mean, welcome journey is actually the best time to communicate with someone after their first visit, because a welcome journey converts an email at converts an email into a visit at 76%.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous. That was an average benchmark across all of our Airship accounts.
76%.
Yeah.
So that's potentially even someone signing up to the website.
Yeah. Or, let's say someone comes into venue, they're not on the database, they log into the fabulous captive Wi-Fi.
Well, on that note, I have to touch to one of our mutual clients, which is Yoke,
Yes.
and there I have to say, hi Eloise, she's and Nick, that we've been working with them from the beginning since they were first a little stall in Broadgate Circle. Love the brand, and Eloise is crazy genius, but their journey in Airship is just that's what I tell people to use as as like, go to Golden Square, connect to the Wi-Fi and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's freaking genius. It's smooth. You go in after you've left, you get the welcome email, which isn't really one of those in your face. It's this is us, this is what we do. Hey, thanks for coming. And then maybe I think you might get a link to the voucher to do a free coffee. And then it just kicks off that automation. Off you go. And there's no one sitting there sending an email.
No,
it's just
all
it's
automated.
Airship doing that automatic flow. So I did it. I got the coffee. I had a very nice coffee, thank you. And I think 3 days later, it was like, thanks so much for visiting. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
this is more about us. This is what we do. This is where our food is from. I tell you what, why don't you try lunch? 20% or something, I think it was. I was like, yes. Obviously, I love my offers. And it was really nice. And then that automation went, and then on trigger, into different venues, it works. And that's what that's sort of my default go to. When there's a new brand that we speak to, I say to go to Yoke and Golden Square, connect to the Wi-Fi and see what happens.
Yeah.
Not just because I want to show them what we do, I want to show them the possibilities.
The potential of it, like as a customer journey. Yeah.
Just a quick one to interrupt the podcast here. If you have the opportunity and you are free on Wednesdays or Fridays at 6 p.m. UK time, there is an awesome group called Digital Hospitality on LinkedIn. If you do a search for Digital Hospitality or Cali Barbecue Media, we need more people from the UK to come and join us. Really great community. Would love to see you guys there. Lots of guys from the US, some people from here, hospitality leaders. It'd be great if you could join us, and look forward to seeing you there. LinkedIn Live.
Absolutely. And I think, we offer like templates and stuff to if you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
But that's just a good starting point, because you can always change it.
Yeah.
You can adapt it. You can analyze the data, see whether or not it's driving visits, and if it's not, tweak it, and we can help with that. But I always try and encourage to actually do a bit of a mind map as a business and figure out what you want to achieve, who you want to target.
Well, I hate using this word because it's not inbuilt in me to say it, but find the problem.
Yes.
Go back to the beginning. And I think Mark on the last podcast I think there's a few points he was saying, but go back to the beginning and start from the beginning. What do you want to solve?
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah, we've actually another booster. We've got a
How many
ball
boosters
pack.
have you got? 75.
They're just flying off the shelves. So the ball pack booster is actually really, really good. So it's a fully presented deck month on month on your performance.
Oh.
Because the pain point we have is a lot of customers say, Airship, it does all the journeys and everything, but all the reports I have to pull one by one.
Yeah.
Which is totally fair. The dashboard is really intuitive. It gives you all like day by day numbers. But if you wanted to just kind of see everything in one place, so we brought out this board pack, which is essentially meant to be everything you need to walk into a boardroom.
Nice.
You've got like an executive summary to showcase.
When did you do that?
We launched it at the beginning of this year.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know. Thanks.
That's the thing. That's why we're doing this next generation Airship launch.
Yes.
Because there's so many little things that we've done.
Yeah.
Absolutely innovated an amazing amount of
The
stuff.
amount of people I speak to say who I've got a meeting with the board and they have to pull, blah, 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 put it all in and
all the
drag it all
time.
out. Yeah.
It's time consuming.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes me like half a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the idea of it. You know, it's to do it all for you.
Yeah.
But also to give you a summary month on month on how things are tracking.
Nice.
So it can highlight where there's opportunity. And that's what is great. You know, if you implement that opportunity every month, imagine what you'll look like in 12 months.
Yeah. Your return on investment's crazy.
Yeah.
And I guess the pretty pictures make the board happy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which
we'll
is
make
nice.
it look nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if you're saving people time, which is looks like all the other bits that you're adding is doing.
Yeah.
This was sort of after because I was going to talk about Toggle, but I want to ask the question because I was on the website the other day and there was bits about, well, obviously there's feedback now, but there was bits about AI bits and bobs. So touch on a little bit about feedback and some of the new things you're allowed to talk about, because obviously you've got the event you're going to and blast it, but
so it's all to come. You've only got to wait a couple more weeks.
Amazing. But feedback is out.
Feedback is out, absolutely. So I think feedback, the reason why we did it initially is to be transparent, is to come in line with some of our competitors, because it was the one bit of the missing puzzle that we didn't do to the extent that others do.
But also some of the other ones are really expensive.
Ours is really cheap.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Others. So we do feedback, but I'd much rather send it to you and you do it. I don't want to. We have to pay for the messages.
Yeah.
Right. I'd much rather to send it through you and you would do it, which then means anyone who's plugging the data into you can flow the feedback out.
Yeah, and you know, vice versa. If a customer comes to us and isn't using feedback and he's going to use Airship, I would say, you know, what do you want from it? Because we don't plug into like the online platforms like TripAdvisor, Google, whereas our wonderful partners at Feed It Back, HGem, Rep.com, you know, all of these great partners of ours, they do.
Yes.
So it depends on what you're looking for. We're not replacing that.
No.
We're just a stepping stone.
Yeah, you're getting them into it, right?
Exactly.
And some people only want they only just want that to start, and then they can look at scaling.
Yeah.
But I think for our customers, just want it, like get it out, send it out.
Just to see how things are tracking. So it gives you a score on like your sentiment. It gives you a score on food, drink, and service.
Nice.
And it gives you real-time updates on comments. But it's also, we've built a feedback dashboard within Airship. So it's its own dashboard.
Nice.
Which is quite nice because you can just report on that as a ops director maybe, or as a marketeer. And you can set up the automated triggers off the back of the results.
Which is a powerful bit.
Exactly. We actually did I don't know if you saw on LinkedIn, but we did a study with Feed It Back, who found that I'm gonna have to try and remember it now. So for a few businesses like Giggling Squid, and I think it might have been Rose's Tie, they, after doing an email to their detractors, so people who scored them, say, less than a 5.
Yes.
After doing an automated email to recover them and bring them back, they actually ended up becoming more of a promoter than their original promoters.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's about actually not just sending that email, but actually improving that customer's experience and
win them
making them
back.
a long-term customer.
Yeah. We did a podcast the other day with an American tool product, and they were saying they've got some machine learning to understand, because they do like app and online ordering as well. They know when the machine learning knows when, just before the churn time of that customer, just so they know when to send the email. Really clever. So there's some really awesome stuff. That's really good. So we'll wait till the event. And when is the event?
Space.
When is it?
It should be 2 weeks from here.
Okay.
And I mean, we're at the beginning of our journey with AI, but there's going to be new AI tools built in that are built into Airship to allow you to use every part of your data to do whatever you want, to ask whatever you want. So if you want to go segment me an audience that spent more than £50 in the last week, that also are vegan and
nice. So natural language, basically, to find the information you want to find.
Exactly. A normal conversation with the AI bot, and it can then create that audience for you, and you can do whatever you want with that audience.
Nice. Making
set up a
things,
customer
it's
journey.
a time. It's a time thing, really.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. I'm really excited to see it. To be honest,
So am I.
I saw it on the website and I was like, they haven't said anything.
I know.
And it's there. Oh my god, what's going on?
There's been a small delay.
It's development. So it's. I've been there. I am still there. We're still there with development. It's fun times. So yeah. Toggle. Yeah.
Baby sister.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. Jesus. I mean, like,
big sister. So Toggle. Funnily enough, so Toggle actually launched in 2018, but I think a lot of people's perception of it was that it started in the pandemic.
Yeah, it was already there.
Yeah,
But it
I mean,
excelled.
that's where it ballooned.
Yeah.
When I joined in 2020, I think we had about 30 customers on Toggle. We now have 450
Shut up.
individual brands using
Yeah.
the platform. A huge part of that growth was during the pandemic. So I'd say probably the end of 2021, we were probably working about 250. And it's just a fantastic platform. It runs itself.
But
it's so easy.
Did it start with no integrations? Was it just gift card and that's it?
Yeah, so it started, one of our customers on Airship.
Yeah.
We built like a voucher.
I remember
thing
Dan saying
within
something about this.
Airship.
Yes.
And the customer was trying to, what it can be like bespoke use
Yeah.
of a feature, and actually it's like that's not really how it works. So that's where Toggle was born. The name of it actually comes from Andrew in our team, was drunk on a train
I love this.
and saw like the Paddington Bear toggle on someone's jacket,
Yeah.
and then was like toggle,
Oh, shut up.
and that's where it's come from.
That's
And that's
fantastic.
what the little toggle on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
logo
yeah.
is.
Because you can switch it on and off whenever you like.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's clever.
So yeah, it was massive growth during the pandemic. I mean, a thing that really helped with that is that we gave it away for free for the first year.
And that was like a big thing.
Absolutely.
That was because
it
these
literally
the
kept
brands
doors
were
open.
like like lots of them were just dead. What do we do? We've got this database. What do we do? So I
Yeah.
think that was a really nice piece what you guys did.
Yeah, and it was nice for me personally to walk into a business that was doing that for the sector. So yeah, it was amazing. We grew hugely, and it allowed so many businesses to keep their businesses open because they have revenue coming in.
Yeah.
And it's actually grown 100% year on year since 2018.
I need you to share one thing so people can understand the value of it. What's the percentage of unused gift cards, vouchers?
Yeah, so on
Roughly,
average,
yeah.
20% of gift cards.
Did you hear
never
that?
Get
I'm
redeemed.
pointing at you people.
20%.
Yeah. 20. That's a lot.
It is. It's huge. I mean, I'm actually a culprit for that.
Me
I
too.
found a Next gift card
Yeah.
in my purse the other day and hadn't used it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I think when people really get their head around, finance directors and stuff, get their head around the fact that Toggle pays for itself
Yes.
just in that alone, plus all that revenue can create. Yeah, it makes it's a no-brainer. Toggle is like my favourite, I have to be honest, if I had
Well,
to choose.
To be fair, I will say now you have the integrations. It is one of my favourites on that piece because in the part, I'd give you years and years ago, I had a phone call from the Ivy, just up there. FD called me. The MD, who's no longer there, who's somewhere else, said to the FD, "Oh, I know Adam. Speak to him. He can probably help you with something." And they had another product for gifting, where you could buy it online, and you could go into any restaurant and use it, but you could use it the same day for breakfast, dinner, and lunch. Because they would do it at the end of the day. They'd go onto the system and cross it off.
Oh, wow.
So you could go to any of the Ivies
Cheeky.
and spend a 100 quid voucher and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Or go to two because there wasn't anything there that was automated. It was very. You could still buy it. It was great. And I remember them saying we want to sell gift cards to people during Christmas, and want to give them a card there and then. We didn't really get involved in the project, but I remember talking to them about it. But there was no integration at that point. This was a while ago, a long while ago. I think the difference now is that for you buy it, you've got it, it's integrated.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're really excited to start working with the Ivy actually.
Yeah.
We work with Bills already. And
Yes.
it's
Are you going to do? Are you toggle working with
Ivy now.
Oh, that's
They joined
exciting.
us last month, so
Did
they're
they?
onboarding
Oh,
at the moment.
congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
it's
exciting.
an amazing brand to work
Yeah, well,
with.
listen to me, for Bills and the Ivy, same group. Not that people, not everyone knows that, and that's really nice. And then, and do they use it? Does Bills use Airship anyway, right?
Bills do, yeah.
And the Ivy doesn't.
They don't.
The Ivy should be using Airship.
Subliminal messaging.
Soon. Yeah, I'll go outside their office. We can get it with like placards.
It's a massive
yeah, popcorn. Yeah, you should do
yeah.
one of those. What's it called? Oh, when you have 100 people.
A mob.
Yeah, get a flash mob.
Flash mob.
Airship flash mob outside,
We
just
should
on
do
Conway
this.
Street. Should do it. And you've got Bills, 1 people, and anyway, I digress. But
We can
yeah,
all
that's
just paint our
exciting.
stomach, IVY.
Yeah. Well, because you have the it's Comtrex, right? So you have the integration already. So
Yeah,
you happen
absolutely.
to be a little bit linked to, not too difficult. But that's exciting. And then but Airship is expanded. Sorry, Toggle's expanded now because you've got a little bit more. Because I went to, where was it? You did an event, and I think you launched it with the whole referral thing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
So
Saf, who was at Aqua,
Aqua.
but now back at SDK, she won it, and everyone was like, "I'll sign up." And I think her monetary value just went up and up and up. So
it was a good launch, actually.
That was
to be
great.
fair. That was genuinely complete launch. We had no idea if it was going to work.
you just tested. You were like, "We built something. Let's just test it."
Yeah, we're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Champions is what it's called. So it's a refer a friend scheme, part of Toggle.
Nice.
And it allows you to, as a, you could be anybody. As a business, you might want to go out to your influencers or your top customers or your local businesses, which is a nice way of doing it. And essentially invite them to ask their friends and family or customers to sign up, get a free £10 voucher.
Yeah.
And every time that person redeems that voucher, the champion gets their reward.
I
so
really like
Saf
that.
ended up with like £1,000 on a gift card for
She was
one
drunk
of
for a month. No, I'm kidding.
Incipio's. Yeah.
Awesome. I know where to go for a birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
It's a really easy tool to use. And we've done quite a lot of that with Toggle, just listen to what's missing in the sector and tweaked certain parts of the way that the platforms worked. And yeah, it's a really nice one.
That's really, I like that. And also it makes someone the referral piece, it makes them want to be part of your brand. I guess because there's another brand, I forget where they are. They're up in Manchester and they've built a subscription method for their restaurant group, which is something that I think Mark mentioned on the last podcast. Here's one thing I think that is missing is the subscription method, like the Prep subscription style, but for casual dining.
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
we have built and are rolling out soon on Toggle a top-up feature, but automatic top-up. So you can top up at the moment, but it's manually topped up. So you go into Bills and say, I've got this gift card, I've used it all, can you top up my value? Because some people like to have that
Physical, because you do the
card.
physical cards as well.
Exactly. You can also add it to your Apple or Google Wallet as a digital gift card.
Nice.
And then you can
do you do
see the
geolocate with it
balance.
as well then? Do you know what that is? Yeah, sorry. I was going to be
I think so. Wait, what is it again?
As you walk past, it was like, bing.
Oh, no, we don't.
Ooh,
no.
that would be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Again, watch the space.
I'll send a note in to Dev for you.
Yeah.
But that's nice. That's a nice piece as well. You're right. Some people do like to have the physical card.
Yeah.
And so you're letting them top up in store or online, I guess.
You can top up in store already if you want, but what we're doing is the auto top up. So let's say, for example, Freshers Week in September, you've got a bunch of students that come. You might want to set it up so at the end of every week it refreshes and give them another £10 as like
so you can actually
promotional
give them,
thing.
and I guess you can sort on trigger as well. If you X visit, give them X.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be part of Airship's visit targeting that we've got coming. Well, it's actually ready. It's just coming as part of the launch.
That's really nice. So it's a surprise and delight because you could go book a table and and then it's in your. I like that.
And also, if you think about a big thing at the moment is employee satisfaction and turnover of employees. So using it as an employee card.
Yeah.
It's literally does what you want it to do. Here's £100 to spend in the month. If you don't spend it, that's fine. But we're going to top you back up to £100 at the end of each month.
That's really nice. I like that. we had Joan on a little while ago from Blend, and you guys should definitely plug in because that could be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what?
Don't know who Blend is.
Really?
Yeah, I've just been living under a rock.
You
Who
have.
are they?
So it's workforce training, but it's basically training using TikTok style UGC content. So they've got Sushi Dog as a client, for example. So it's all about training. The challenge you have is retention is difficult. And if you don't train your staff or even have benefits with your staff, so they're plugged into workforce management. So you become a employee at Sushi Dog. Jonah, I'm doing a job for you. You become
I'll speak to you soon, Jonah.
yeah, I'll do an intro. You become an employee at Sushi Dog. As soon as you sign in, email gets sent to you from there, straight from Blend. This is your training. So all these standard stuff, right? Health and safety, but it's all done in video content recorded by them, and it's on your phone. So
really good.
you and also the challenges are if you got taught something, and you go, "Have you got it?" and they go, "Yeah, I've got it," and you haven't got it, and you're doing a sushi roll or you're doing a salad, and you get it wrong, and then you're then training 10 people, and they're training 10 people. 50 people now have the wrong way. But at any point, and also, as you said, kinesthetic learners, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a little video that you can go back on and you do a quiz on it, like you guys do the quiz at the end of the month, then you get to refresh your memory of it. And so the training's done better. They understand it. It's done by their team. You get the owner of the company to do a welcome message. It's all very personable. And then they use other tools to say thank you, well done, and so on. So plugging into like Toggle would be pretty awesome. So it's a really clever concept. We've given him some clients. It's really nice. So we were talking about doing some IT bits. You know, you could even have Airship for marketing. New person starts.
Or Airship Teams.
Yeah.
Our Airship Teams
Yes.
is for internal communications,
Yes.
which is, again, it's not even a booster. It's literally just its own entity
Yeah,
completely.
you could because people don't want to pay for Slack, right? And,
No,
and others.
exactly. And also, that's...
Do you guys use Airship Teams for internal use?
No, we actually use Google Chat. Funnily enough, we never actually use any of our own tools.
Yeah.
But it is great though. It's got all the tools you need to,
Nice.
welcome someone to the team, make
Yeah.
sure that they're getting triggered, all the things that they
Well,
need
I
to be
think that
triggered.
that should be plugged into Blend as
Yeah,
well.
it
I
sounds
think
like there's quite a nice
there's
little
a massive
trio there.
yes. It's a trifecta. Amazing. Okay, so oh dear, bear with me.
Lost the question.
I've lost the last bit. There's so many emails. I got it. Okay, we're coming to the end. So thank you. This has been awesome, and I really appreciate you
How long's it
coming. Okay, so this isn't really the full amount. This is an hour, but it's just under. So yeah, see, it's just banter, right? It's just bants. Yes, good bants. We've talked about everything I asked for. To be honest with you, loyalty was an interesting one, but we can talk about that next time. But I do want to ask. So there's sorry. The last one was, what's Airship looking like in 5 years? I mean, to be fair, you've given them some good insights. But what would you, go into Dan's brain? Oh, what would you want to see it in 5 years?
Yeah, I know exactly what Dan would say because he keeps banging on about it. He believes that, and I don't disbelieve this, by the way, but he believes that in 5 years' time or before that, so 2 years' time, no one will ever send an email again because the computer will send it for you. So everything will be AI driven.
Yeah, or just fully automated.
Fully automated. But for you to then focus more on like the creativity of it and making sure the tone of voice is right. But all of that would also be generated. Or just
standing
by
at the front welcoming someone.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? Because the bigger brands, as you said, like at Heston, it worked. If more brands didn't need to worry about all the rest of it, wouldn't it be nice if someone comes up, your chatbot or your tool pops up on your dashboard and says someone's coming, or they'd send them an email saying, are you on your way? Click here. Yeah. And then they say, or they reply saying, I'm 10 minutes out. Message to the porter or
absolutely,
and so on. All that bit that for me is like, I'm so excited for that to come.
It's almost like an imaginary cloud above someone's head telling you exactly what you need to know about that person. There's a cake because it's their birthday. It tells you what birthday it is and how big of a celebration it might be.
I remember at an event a couple of years back or more now, Seven Rooms in Charlotte Street, an event, and they were saying, and it was just an example, they were like, because Seven Rooms and Google, a little bit linked, they were like Google Glass or an earpiece. So as you walk around your restaurant, it's like that person at table 7 is their birthday, and just the little bits that have come in tell you everything. Obviously, it's not happening. They're not building it. But if you could do it, you could pretend. You were right. All those things, you've got those points. You have all those data points. Yeah. If you could put it in the palm of their hand, or even on their watch.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's whatever happens in 5 years' time. Technology in 5 years' time, we have no idea
No,
what it's
no,
going to
no.
look like. It's
I think 2
crazy
years
the
is-
speed
yeah.
of which it's going. But we have to always make sure that it's enabling the hospitality experience to be the best it can possibly be and not taking away from that.
Yeah.
So, you know, order and pay is fantastic in so many scenarios, but as we've learned, some people do, some people don't enjoy that in a certain setting. So it's just making sure that we're really figuring out what the customer wants and enabling people to get that. I'm rubbing, aren't I?
No, but you're putting your mic just over that way a bit.
Oh,
There we go. You
come
keep your head that way. It's all good. No, I agree. You're right. I think if we can give them the tools, then they will succeed. I always say, if we can help them expand their business, they open new sites, and then we have another client.
Yeah.
And that's my sort of visibility on things. If I can help you succeed and make you more money, you'll open new sites, and we make more money.
Yeah.
That's a little thing for me. Okay. The last questions. So, best restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I can't say dinner because I've just said dinner.
No. Well, you can say, but give me another one. Because experience. I mean,
Yeah.
where's a good restaurant?
Do you know what? Somewhere I've been recently is, I'm going to have to say it and I'm probably going to say it wrong. Chicachama? Something like that. It's in South...
Chickamama? No, I don't know.
Do you know what? I'm going to have to give you it and you're going to have to put it in the notes.
Yeah, I'll put it underneath.
It's in South Kensington.
Okay.
They have a set menu.
Yeah.
Again,
Is it,
special occasions.
what type of food is it?
It's kind of Peruvian.
Peruvian. Yeah, I think it's Chickamama, I think.
Chickamama, is
yeah,
it?
Yeah. I think I remember it.
Dyslexic brain,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
being able to say it out
No,
loud.
me too.
And yeah, it was
love
amazing.
Peruvian,
it
but
was
yeah.
delicious. Took my partner there for their birthday and
nice.
it was delightful.
Perfect.
Highly recommend.
Best burger.
Yeah, I found this one difficult. I'm going to have to say Honest Burger
Okay.
because it's just so consistent.
It is. I do like the smash burgers, to be fair.
Yeah, and their chips. Oh,
Yeah,
they're
the
so
rosemary
good.
chips.
Yeah. I think if I'm in London and I want a burger, I normally try and find an Honest Burger.
Well, it's not hard finding it, to be
Yeah,
fair.
no,
so-
they're everywhere.
Okay, that's fair. You're allowed. You're allowed honest. Best hotel.
Do you know what? I actually went there only in April this year. My mum took me for my birthday as a special occasion because I turned 30. And 100 Shoreditch.
Okay. Yeah.
So cool. The bedrooms are insane. Super homely. Service again was incredible. Like very hipster,
Yeah.
as you would imagine from a Shoreditch. But just a really cool setting. Very relaxed. They
What
had
was,
lovely
was there a nice
rooftop.
welcome journey as well on entrance and everything else?
Absolutely, yeah. So they helped us with our luggage.
Yeah.
The check-in process was really quick. They gave us a cup of coffee, took us to our room.
Nice.
They had reservation for the rooftop for a cocktail in the
Oh,
evening to watch the
nice.
sunset ready for us. Yeah, it was just a really pleasant experience. I've not stayed in a London hotel for years because I live in London.
Me either. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no need to. So, and that's obviously a little bit more special and, but actually affordable at the same time.
Okay. So we're at the end. So I need to do there's the other two questions, but I'm going to do little cheers for you. So thank you for coming. Thank you for giving us insights and learning a little bit more and little nuggets of genius. 2 questions for the next guest.
Do I say them out loud?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I did actually write these down.
Did you?
So let me get them for you. So, number 1.
Yeah.
Do we know who the next guest is?
I do, but I'm not telling you. With Chris, when Chris was on first, I gave him his this is blah, 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 the next guest. I know who it is. I was like, I told you. But so things have changed. Some people, diaries changed, but we do
Yes.
have another, I think I've got 6 or 7 lined up, which is awesome. So,
Well,
yeah, thank you.
Good luck
But
to them on this one.
go on.
So, what makes you unique? What do you think that you could beat anyone at if you were challenged to do it?
Nice.
Which I think is a really good question.
That is a good question.
I'm just blowing my own trumpet here, but I think it's a great question.
No, I agree. It's a really good question.
Do you want the other one?
Yeah, please.
If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, what would it be for you?
Oh, mine's really shit.
Go on.
I think potatoes. Because you can just do so much
Everything.
with a potato. And I do, my Irish blood, love a potato.
I was about to do an accent, but I'm not going to do the accent. But yeah, so that's okay. Yeah, I get that. That's good. But the first question on it.
Yeah.
But thank you. Let's do a wave goodbye to everyone. Thank you. This has been Luci from Airship. Thank you for coming. And
Thank you for having me.
And we're done. Yay.